Hey guys, welcome back to the Blade Bloodhound. Wanted to do a video tonight, and it just so happened my brother called me the other day and said, hey, I found this knife. I'm gonna bring it to you. And I said, sure. He brings me stuff every so often. He'll find here and there, and he had asked me if I had any of the U.S. military knives, and I do, but I told him one more wasn't going to hurt, so I definitely liked it. This one actually is in really good shape, and when we get to the table, I'll talk to you about the differences in the ones I've found in the past, maybe a little history on it, what little I know. I'm not, really knowledgeable on them, but I know a little bit. But this one, I believe, if I can remember correctly, is a 1981. Yeah, 1981 Camillus. I've picked these up, here and there, probably for years. Probably other channels you've watched, they've talked about these knives as well. But I have one that's my birth year, 1971. I'm trying to think the oldest one I have. I don't know off my head. I know I've got a 60s. And for some reason, you see a lot of 81s. I don't know if the 1981 guys just got rid of theirs, but you'll see a lot of these. But I've got some 60s. I've got the 81, got the 71. I'm trying to think, I think I have a 90s also. But anyway, every year they stamped it, so it's really cool. That way you can tell. You open the main blade, you can see exactly what year you have. A lot of different companies made these. For example, I've seen them in Imperial, and then I think Imperial and Ulster got together, did a little collaboration, and they did the Kingston. So you'll see the Kingston ones also. There are some differences in them, but Camillus started them in 1957 all the way to 2006. So I don't know if they issue these anymore. Now, this wasn't just, only the Army gets it. I mean, all the different branches got them. Some of them I've seen actually say USMC on them, which, I guess, well, that's for the Marines. But I've seen these in all different flavors. And it's just a really, really cool knife. They're well built. They did have a flaw, and I'll point that out when we get to the table. But this one was in a great shape. So when I got it, I said, you know what? Veterans Day, this military knife's laying over here. What a coincidence. So let's just go ahead and do a video on this one tonight. So anyway, let's go to the table. We're going to check it out. We'll talk about it. I'll tell you a few things that I have learned in the past about these. They're great knives. They're practically indestructible. They're all metal. And this one's in good shape. I did notice, it looks like somebody kind of engraved their initials a little bit on the back spring of this one, but other than that, it's tip-top shape. I mean, it's probably one of the better examples I've seen. It's better than the 60s one I have and the 70s, I'm sure. But anyway, let's go to the table. We're going to check it out. We're going to see what you guys think about it, and you let me know. All right, guys, we are back here at the table. I'm going to check this one out. So this one has a very nice bail. Usually these are misshapen. You can tell this one is in great shape. But I mean, it's only a 1981, which, I guess if you think about it, that's pretty old. But for people like me, that seems like yesterday. But as you can tell, we're going to look at the handle here. So the handle material is all metal. Has US stamp there. This I think would be, it's like a little texture, kind of for grip, but I mean, it's kind of a slick knife in a way. We'll zoom in just so you can see it. See that texture is like I don't want to say square, it's kind of like little diamonds all the way across it. And it's in a good condition. That is the show side. And this here is what everybody calls the pile side. That's funny that started. I mean, I had never heard the pile side, and one of my buddies started a YouTube channel, and he said, "I said, what's your channel name going to be?" And he said, "Hey, I think I'm going to call it the pile side." And I'm like, "What does that mean?" And he's a young guy, but anyway, he said, "Oh, that's the opposite side of the knife. Your main is the show side. This is the pile side that you pile a knife on." But anyway, just a little extra history there for you, or a little lesson. But what's unique about these knives is the blade comes up, and you notice the nail pull is here at the end. Now, I don't have good fingernails or much of one, but yep, I got it. But this is a very cool blade shape. It's like kind of like a spear point. It drops down, but that would still be considered a spear point. But see how the nail nick is up here instead of, back here where we're used to seeing it on knives. So it's kind of a neat shape and neat design. I call it a scout knife, even though it's a military knife, because, it has all the features you would use if you were, scout knives. Actually, there are some Boy Scout knives made like this, but just a really cool design. Right here, you can see on the tang, Camillus, 1981. So I was telling y'all before, I've got some older ones. I've got some Vietnam era ones. I've got, I want to say I have an Imperial one, but I'm not positive. It's been so long since I've looked at all these. Since my brother brought this one to me, I've been carrying it a few days and messing with it. It's got a great edge on it. I put just a little bit of an edge on it. It had one already, but all these scratches, were already there. Used knife, but cool at that. There's no half stop on this blade, so it falls into place. The blade here has good snap. It has your screwdriver here, your cap lifter. It's got the old moon pull as well. There's no markings on that. I mean, whoever had this one obviously did not use it much. Did not use it much at all. The inside, as you can see there, is pretty clean too. Everything is stainless on this knife, which is really cool. Let's open up the can opener. Now the can opener, actually the screwdriver too looks different on some of the older ones. They'll have a stud here instead of a fingernail pull, but the newer ones all look like this. Has the word can opener here, so you know exactly what its use is for. Now this one does not have a half stop, I don't think. Let's see. Well, it kind of does. Well, let's see. Yep, it sort of does. It does have a half stop. This blade is in great shape as well. We'll see this again. Yeah, there's no half stop on the screwdriver. I was curious if it did, but no. Actually, now that I'm doing that, I'm going to do this can opener one more time just to make sure. No, I don't think there is a half stop. I think it just did that when I pushed it up. It just kind of stuck there and before it went all the way in. So no half stop. And then on the back, it's got a little fingernail groove here. Easy open. And it has an awl. As you can tell, I have not cleaned this knife. All I did was got it from him and stuck it in my pocket for a few days. But a cool, cool knife. Now that does have a half stop. And I guess that's so in case you were wanting to get a hole going on the side, you could as well. But you can definitely tell definitely a half stop on that blade. Good snap. Now, one thing about these knives, I have seen probably more broken ones than I have seen intact ones. And the reasoning is these back springs, for some reason, look, you can tell somebody, looks like they said CTM. If I'd left that T off, CM would have been my initials. But pretty neat. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The back springs. The back springs on these knives are notorious for breaking. The reasoning, I have been told, is people open both blades at the same time. This one and this one. You know, they'll open this one, then they'll open this one, and it puts so much pressure on this back spring that they break. I don't know if they just didn't have their heat treat good or what, but I have seen, I mean, a ton of these broken. A lot of people, you know, buy 3 or 4 broken ones. They'll repin it here, here, and here. I've seen videos on it, and, you know, they make it look pretty easy, but I don't know if I could do it. I really don't. I have tried. Now, I did buy one that had a loose blade here, and I pinged a little bit there and there on it to make it tight again, and it worked. But I was kind of nervous about doing it just because I was thinking that I was going to hit it too hard. It was going to be too tight. I was going to lose my snap. You know, I put a razor blade in there when I did it just to give it a little bit of a gap. But anyway, it worked out that time, but I'm just not a big guy on taking out pins and redoing a knife. Maybe one day I'll get my confidence up and say, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. But as of right now, I just sharpen, and I will do little things like maybe reprofile a tip. I was just zooming in here to see if anything was on that bell. It's not, but we can look at that guy's initials. I think it's a C, CTM maybe. Really neat. You can see some gaps in there, but I mean, it's an old knife, and they were built for, you know, carrying out and using. They weren't built just to look pretty, but this one is in great shape, I think, in my opinion. But very cool. Also, if you look at the blades, uh-oh, my cat's trying to jump up here. Let me knock her off. If you look at the blade here, see how it's kind of shaped funny? That is actually shaped like that so that they will all fit together. You see how the screwdriver is like straight here and then it just drops there. This one, see how it kind of curves a little bit? That is all by design, but really cool. I think I'm going to pause this real quick, or we're going to get to see a cat on the table. All right, crisis averted. I moved her, and as you can tell, she's not too happy. But thought I would do this knife. Just for one thing, it's a cool knife. You've probably seen these before. But if you ever do see one, I mean, a lot of times you'll see these at flea markets, and people are practically giving them away. I bought a lot of these very cheap. But Camillus was a great company. Now, I think they still make Camillus, but I don't think it's the same. I should have researched that for you, but the old Camillus knives I do love. I haven't bought a Camillus knife since, heck, I don't know when the last time I bought a new one was. I guess most of the ones I bought have been used. A lot of the newer ones I think are made overseas, so I only buy the old USA Camillus knives. But really neat. And I thought it would be a great knife to do in honor of Veterans Day. If you're a veteran, I do want to thank you for your service. You know, it's a great thing you did. My grandfather, he was in World War II. I always used to say he's my favorite veteran, and he still is. Now, he's passed away since then, but definitely got some good stories and learned a lot from him. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a great rest of the night. I will hopefully be on here soon and get these videos rolling again. I just wanted to throw one on tonight and, you know, get things going. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great night. Talk to you soon.